Hello, good day, we're back. It's been a while. I kind of had a creative block, but I'm back. I'm raring to go and I'm excited because this is an idea that I've had in my head for a while. So I'm finally going to execute it. So I'm sure every man and his dog seen the horror releases from Glamlite last year. So they were full collections for a few different movie franchises, and there were two in particular that caught my eye. So that's what we're going to play with today. So there was the Ghostface collection, and then the Friday the 13th, which I think was called the Camp Crystal Lake collection. Now I didn't get the entire collections of each because of the fact that there were things that wouldn't interest me. So there were false eyelashes, which just, I'm particular about the lashes I use. There was a candle in the Camp Crystal Lake, which would have been great. I would have picked that up, but the stockist in Australia didn't have it. There was makeup brushes, there was lip oils, there was them god-awful bags, which I wasn't interested in. So I just picked up a few of each collection. So I'm going to play with them today. We're going to start with Ghostface, obviously based on the Scream franchise. So I got the mirror, which it looks like this. The handle is the shape of a knife. Proper cool, absolutely love that. I got the eyeshadow palette, lenticular cover. I always used to call this holographic. It's not holographic, lenticular. And this is what it looks like. So it is obviously a very cool colour story. I actually was going to pass up on this. I bought the Hershey's Cookies and Cream palette because I thought, oh, that'll just kind of scratch that itch. And it was cheaper. However, I had a customer service experience with Glamlite where they refunded me $20. So I just used it for this palette. So I'm excited to get stuck into that. There is the blush again with the lenticular. It's called the Horror Blush and it's red. As you can see, it's got that great embossing of Ghostface on there. We got a highlighter, which was a duo. So you've got like the champagne gold and then like a bluey, silvery, again, the embossing, amazing. And then a lip kit, which is the thing that I'm most scared about. So this lip liner is black. It's a pencil that you sharpen, I believe. Yes, so that's good. And then this is the lipstick. So the component's pretty cool because you press the top and it shoots out the bottom. Amazing. I have actually already swatched this, but it's got little knives on the bullet and it's got the Ghostface face, which I just think is just so cool. I'm going to be upset when that's gone. So yeah, that's what we're going to play with today. I thought it would also be a good opportunity to talk about the franchise because I have nostalgia when it comes to horror movies. I had this conversation with my partner last night. I don't know, I wouldn't say I loved horror movies, but I have this weird fascination with them where I feel like every now and again I'm like, I need to watch a horror movie. I like being scared, but at the same time I don't. It's very weird. I watched a horror movie last night called Smile. If you've not seen it, you should check it out if you like horrors. If you're scaries, don't watch it. It's very weird. So I'm going to start with the eyeshadow palette. I have primed my lids. This is actually my second attempt at filming this video. I completely choked on the first one and couldn't remember anything about the movies. And I was like, what am I even talking about? And I just kept going round and round in circles. So I've refreshed my memory on a couple of things and I thought, yeah, why wouldn't I talk about that? I'm going to use Singe Beauty brushes today. The first one I'm going to use is the EO3, which is this big fluffy brush. And it's domed. It's great for in here for me, and because it's domed and fluffy, it blends at the same time. So it kind of just makes it a little bit easier. I really want to play with this shimmer here, which is like a bluey lavender shift. So we're just going to do a dark smoky eye with that shimmer. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take the EO3 and I'm going to dip into this, which is a pure Ghostface. I'm trying something different with me lighting. I've got the red in the background. I thought it'd be good, you know, horror theme. And I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit. There we go. Is that too close? Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm going to clip this hair back because it's driving this insane. And I'm going to use pure Ghostface and we're going to go in with the EO3. I'm going to put that through the crease. So my first experience with Scream was, so I was trying to remember how it would have gotten on my radar in the first place, because it was released in 1996, which means I would have been 11. And I know that the first time I attempted to watch it would have been 97 when I was 12. So it's obviously prior to social media, and it was prior to having internet in the home, prior to mobile phones. God, I'm a dinosaur, but that's the reality of it. I was around then, and you know what? I'm proud, because I was able to keep myself entertained and all of that without any of this stuff that you youngins have these days. Anyway, I digress. So I must have heard about it from people at school, and I really wanted to watch it. And I remember my mum saying it wasn't a good idea. We used to go to the video shop, which was Blockbusters. Does anybody else remember doing that? Such a nostalgic moment. I miss doing that. It was an event, going to the video shop and looking through all of the videos and the covers. It was amazing. I used to love going to the 80s horrors and just scanning the covers, because they were always really gruesome and graphic. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So yeah, we went and got it on video, and I tried to watch it with my mum. So I would have been 12. She would have been, 35, so 4 years younger than what I am now. And I just remember being absolutely horrified. So this is obviously going to be full of spoilers. The first scene where Casey, played by Drew Barrymore, is tortured basically by somebody on the other end of a phone, watches her boyfriend get gutted, and then is found hanging from a tree. I got to the point where a mum opens the door and then screams and sees her hanging there, and the camera kind of zooms in. Oh my god, it nearly ruined my life. I was just like, no, I can't watch this. And my mum's like, I knew you couldn't. So we turned it off, and then that was that. I am still like this now when I watch movies. I don't know what it is. Last night when I was watching that movie, I do know what it is. I need something in between me and the screen. I need like that kind of separation. It makes us feel safer. Last night I was watching the other movie in the reflection of the window. Because it's less scary when it's like that, or through a wine glass, or through your fingers, or from behind a cushion. It is, it's science. So I turned that movie off with my mum, and I do know that it impacted us quite a bit from then, because my mum had gone to pick my dad up one night close to when we tried to watch it. And she was only out for 10 minutes because he was on the late shift at work, so she'd have gone to pick him up, and she'd left me in the house, and I was 12. And it'll have been like probably at 7, 8 o'clock. But in England, at that time, in the winter, it's dark. So I was extremely scared. We had a patio door, which is not similar to what they've got in the movie, but it was dark. You can't see in the garden. There's no light, because the back garden was really long and it backed onto like a nature reserve. So there's no light in the back garden, and we had a security light that flashed on and off. Obviously, if there was anything moving, like a cat or anything, to set it off, and I was petrified that it was going to go on and that there was going to be something there. So I remember being so scared, but edging towards the window to pull the curtains, because I was absolutely terrified. And I put Matilda on, you know that movie with Danny DeVito and that little girl from Mrs. Doubtfire, who I think is probably older than me, but anyway. Yeah, I had to put that on to distract myself because I was too scared being in the house by myself. I can't remember the time that I actually watched it all the way through, but I got to the age of like 14 or 15, and me and my friends used to walk to the video shop in the village. We'd walk there every Friday night, and we would pick 3 scary movies, and we'd watch them, 2 on a Friday and then 1 on Saturday, and they had to be back by Sunday. And it was just the highlight of the weekend, and we just all became obsessed with horror movies. And it was always like whatever the latest one was, but then we used to get kind of all the old stuff. Like I remember watching The Leprechaun. If anyone's seen that, it's a classic 80s horror. We've even watched Child's Play, so Chucky, which was another collab that Glamlite did. And it was just a good wholesome time. So yeah, I remember when it was my 14th birthday, I got the Scream 1 and 2, because Scream 2 came out in 97. I got Scream 1 and 2 on VHS for my birthday, and we watched it because I had a sleepover. Am I getting out of shot? I am. When I slouch, so no, other way. There we go. It's a little bit harder to slouch out of shot now. I don't think I used to get scared of Scream. I know I was definitely terrified of Michael Myers from Halloween, because I'm still terrified of him. And I remember once being at a sleepover and everyone falling asleep, and I could not bring myself to get up and turn the movie off, because I was scared to move across the room, because it was dark. But yeah, I don't think I was scared of Scream. It's just really nostalgic for us. I really love the Scream franchise. Well, I say the Scream franchise. I love movies 1 and 2. And it's just because of the fact that I used to watch them when I was younger. So that first scene, I don't think there was anything like that around the time. I think that was the first of its kind, where there was, you're being watched in your own home. Like, it gives you the feeling that no matter where you are, you're not safe because there's always somebody watching. And I think, was it the birth of the prank phone call in, like, trying to scare people? I'm sorry, I've just been doing stuff. So I'm putting Chilled Frost, which is that light colour in the middle, and I'm using an EO6 just across my lid and blending out this first colour, Pure Ghostface. Like, was that movie the first, like the birth of the prank call? Because like it took off. I don't remember what the advert was for. Was it Miller or Budweiser where they used no, I'm thinking of Scary Movie when they do the "What's up?" and that was Scary Movie, but he had the Scream mask on. That had no reference or bearing on anything, so just ignore that point. But yeah, it was just, it was coming of age movies, but it was obviously horror, so it was just really cool, and I think that's why I kind of like was drawn to it. And like everything, when you look back on it, everything was a warning to teenage kids not to have sex early and things like that, because that's pretty much what it is. If you're a wholesome person, you don't go to parties, you don't drink, you're not having sex, then you're not getting killed. And that was kind of the messaging in it. So yeah, I think it was very much like, warden teenagers, or that was a message that was coming off, like, you don't know who you're going to bed with. Which is quite clever, if that was the thing. Obviously it wasn't like a conspiracy and people were saying we need to release this movie to stop our children having sex, but it was very clever kind of take on that messaging, because obviously one of the rules is if you're a virgin you don't get killed. So very interesting indeed. Scream 2, I've got a memory of watching this the first time. I think it might have been at that sleepover I was talking about. I was just adding that first colour Pure Ghostface underneath me lash line with the EO4. It's a bit denser and I'm just darken it up a little bit through my crease as well. This is definitely not what the brush is for, but never mind. Yeah, so Scream 2, the iconic scenes was that movie scene at the beginning. So obviously there's going to be spoilers throughout this, but it's Jada Pinkett and Omar Epps, and they're in the movie theatre and they both end up getting killed. And I still think about that now, because I won't go and watch a scary movie in the theatre because I'm like, what happens? Because in that, obviously everyone's hyped up and it's like become a bit of a franchise. So there's been a movie made about the first killings in Woodsboro and they're watching that movie. So obviously everyone's got masks and fake knives, etc. and what have you. And that's the whole thing, like, is what's scary about it, is like, there could be somebody really there who's gonna kill you. and you wouldn't be aware of it because everyone's wearing the same costume. And I still think about that because I'm like, what happens if they decide to like have some sort of PR stunt, which I know that they do in America, and it is an actual killer. This is how my mind works. I'm a crazy person. So yeah, like just that scene stuck with us. There's a car crash scene as well where the killer ends up getting into the car that they're in and basically crashes the car and knocks himself out. They have to climb over him. The only way out's through the driver's side, so they have to climb over him and he's knocked out. And obviously everyone was just watching with bated breath, waiting for him to wake up. Terrifying stuff. Terrifying. You also see, what's he called? Josh Jackson. He's got a tiny part in it. Tiny part, which I would have wanted to see more of him because I was absolutely obsessed with Pacey. I mean, weren't we all? Ultimate Dreamboat. So he's got a tiny part in that movie. And yeah, you don't see him again. It sucked, but that's also a highlight. But yeah, there's just, again, that overall sense of no matter where you are, there's a scene in the park, they get a phone call and they know they're being watched, but they can't find the person who's watching them. And it's just, yeah, it's chilling stuff. It's just all nostalgia for me. I'm just thinking about all of the times I watched it with my friends, and we used to just watch all sorts. We were just really into that kind of movie horror scene, especially with teen horror. What is it called? What was the... Yeah, I don't know. What was the... I'm gonna have to Google this. Oh, it was actually just called teen horrors. So yeah, I think I was around and I was a teenager for the birth of that genre. So that's why it's so nostalgic to us. So I'm just using the EO2 now and picking up Vintage Mask, which is the darkest colour. It's a black, but it's not massively pigmented. So I'm just darkening up this outer corner. I'm thinking about putting a tiny bit of this along the bottom lash line as well. I'm not too fussed about the blending in the front here because I'm going to be putting the shimmer there anyway. I am just going to pick up a little bit of that pure Ghostface again and kind of intensify that colour on the outside because I've kind of lost it a bit. So Scream 3. There is every chance that I went to the cinema to see this, but I can't remember. But I just know I was scared of the scenes where she was being haunted by her mum. That kind of bothered us a lot. But at the same time, I thought it was very... I don't know, it's kind of stemmed a little bit more into comedy a little bit for me, because in the third one they're making obviously Scream, the story of Scream, well the story is, because it's happened twice, it obviously became a franchise, so it's the movie Stab, and it's like based in Hollywood, so it's just, there's not really any really scary moments in that, and the killer is Sean from Scrubs, and I just laugh every time I see him anyway. I just think nobody cares, Sean. That one, I've seen it a few times, but it's just not the best movie ever. And then the scene, so there's a scene in the second one in the film school where Courtney Cox's character Gail Weathers is being chased through like the, is it a film school? I think so, but it's like the sound booths, and she's being chased through them and she's trying to hide. She's in where it's got double-sided mirrors, so she's hiding and she thinks he can see her and he can't. That's quite a scary scene. And something similar happens in the third one, and it's Jenny McCarthy, and they're in the offices of the movie set, and it was just very reminiscent of that scene, and I just didn't enjoy it. I thought it was really crap compared to the scene in the second one, and yeah, it wasn't a great movie. I actually watched the fourth one I've seen it before, but I actually watched it again. Was it last weekend or the weekend before? My God, what a boring movie that is. I kind of like the beginning bit. I'm just putting a little bit of that dark, the vintage mask along the bottom using an E07. And I've just touched my face. Fabulous! Absolutely great. And it's the darkest one, of course. We'll worry about that in a moment. Just in case it happens again, eh? So there's this scene in that movie at the beginning where you see someone, obviously they get phone calls, someone's stalking the house and watching them, then they're breaking in and killing them. Then it's someone watching a movie, and it's Anna Paquin and Kristen Bell watching the movie, and they're talking about the movie, and then suddenly Kristen Bell plunges a knife into Anna Paquin, and then it sets back and it's two girls watching the movie, watching them watch the movie, so it's kind of within the actual movie. Scene starts, you know, where the phone call comes and they're getting chased around the house and things like that. So that was quite clever. This has got Emma Roberts in it and Hayden Panettiere. Is that how you say her name? I actually don't know. But I loved her hair in this. I absolutely loved it. And then when I watched it the other night, I was like, why did I love her hair so much? It's terrible. But yeah, that was another pretty weak movie. I don't know if it's because at this point we've done it all. It's all been done, not we, but it's been done, so it's not as shocking. But yeah, it was just a weak movie. There wasn't really anything that stood out for us. The only thing that did is I was quite shocked that Emma Roberts was involved. I remember being like, oh, I didn't see that coming. But then looking back, I was like, oh, maybe I could have seen that coming a little bit. But you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. The fifth one, I haven't seen the newest one, which was 6. That came out, was it last year? But the fifth one, I've seen it. But I guessed the killer straight away. Straight away I guessed it. I was just getting some NYX glitter glue because we're going to put some shimmer on now. I'm not vibing with the bottom lash line. I don't know why. It's kind of driving us insane a bit. I'm just going to put some of this on with my finger. So I put a couple of dots on and then I just swirl it around. Love it. All over my lid. Okay, that's that done. Right, I'm going to take an EO1, which is this kind of flat brush. And I'm going to pick up that shimmer, which is called Sharpest Knife. Now I am going to spray it as well, because I don't want any fallout. Well, even though I have got black all over my face anyway, but I'm just going to put this in the middle of the lid, like so. I like that, it's very pretty. Alright, that's pretty. Right, I'm going to fix this on my face. I'm just going to take some soft matte concealer and just buff that out. Oh no. I did get some fallout of that shimmer. But what you gonna do? Nothing. Alright, so how do I want to finish this out? So I definitely think we need to put a little bit more shimmer in the bottom. I think I'm gonna go for, I don't know. I don't know. Let's have a look. I want a light shimmer. So I might put this along the bottom lash line, which is called Mirror Gleam, and then this Movie Night, I think I'm going to use as an inner corner. So I'm just going to use that same brush that I used the purple one on, but the other side, on the side, and dip into that, and spray it again because it's going to have fallout. And then light across the bottom lash line, like that. Just flicked it onto my eyeball. Okay, I like that a lot. Just gonna take this EO4 with no additional product and just buff around there like that. And I'm gonna take Movie Night on my little finger and I'm gonna dab that into the inner corner like that, And then I'm going to take a clean fluffy brush and then just buff it. Just to make it a bit smoother. I'm going to put some mascara on and I'm going to put some lashes on. And then we're going to go in and we're going to do highlighter, blush and lips. So I'll be back. Okay, we're back. I don't know why, but it's got really, really warm in this room. I'm not loving these lashes. I think they're too big. But what are you going to do? I'm going to now go in with the blush, which is the Ghostface Horror Blush, which I showed you earlier. Nice and bright and red. So we're going to go in with that. I think I need quite a fluffy brush to do this. So I'm going to use the Singe F06. I think this is going to be quite pigmented. Yeah, so I'm going to do that and go onto the palm before I just put onto the face. Very pretty. I like it a lot. Ooh, yes. So back to the movies. I'm going to try and convince my partner to watch the latest one tonight. So I've got a full reference. But I've noticed it's got Jenna Ortega in it. She was in the last one, and I can't remember whether she got killed or not. But I'm assuming not, if she was in this latest one. And I know that Hayden Panettiere's in this new one as well. And I'm like, did she not get killed? I only watched it last weekend in Scream 4. So she obviously didn't get killed. I hope she's not coming back as like a twin sister or anything like that. I hate it when people, I hate it when they do stuff like that. It just doesn't work, does it? How are we looking? Very blushy, I think. Very blushy indeed. We might go back in once we have some highlighter on. So, the Ghostface, the icon of Halloween, it says. Alright, so I think I'm going to go with this one at the top. So this is like the white one. It's not the champagne one. It's very sparkly, can you see that? Very sparkly. I'm just going to tap it off and then dust it. I like it though. It's nice. I've still got some fallout on my face from the eyeshadow palette. But that's just going to have to stay there. I'm going to dust a little down my nose. I'm also going to put some on my cupid's bow. Like that. So that's very sparkly and glittery. But it's nice. I like it. I do just want to see what this one's like. So that one's more of the kind of highlighter I would go for. And this one, just for reference, is like that. So that's the one I've put on my face. So I prefer this one, like the satiny one. Wet looking, we'll see. Okay. This is what's terrifying me. I'm going to actually bring it further out while I do this. It's very warm in this room all of a sudden. I don't know why. I feel myself melting. So it's black lip liner. So I'm going to try my best not to fuck this up. I mean, there's no promises here. I'm probably gonna. Alright, so the lip line is on. Makes my mouth look really small. I've still got a little bit of lip balm on, so it kind of helped it blend a little bit. Now we're going to go in with the nude lipstick. Okay, just going to dab it in the middle, like so. And then, I'm not enjoying this. Not bad. I am just going to go over and just fill in the lips slightly. Oh. Running away from us. Just going to fill in the lips slightly. So, I'm going to take this clip out and we're going to have a look. So this is the final look. What do I think? I quite like it. The lips, obviously not my favourite, but I'm loving the eyeshadow. Yep, love the blush. And I actually don't mind that highlighter. Yep, I think we did a really good job with this collection. I enjoy it a lot, but now we've just got to see how it stands up against the Friday the 13th collection. So I'm going to send you over to that second look now. See you in a minute. Alright, we're back. And we're back with Jason. So we're going to do a look with the product from the Glamlite range, Friday the 13th. So I'm just going to go through the products like I did with the other look. And we'll have a little bit of a chat about them. And then I'm going to do a look. I'm actually going out today, so I'm going to try and not go crazy. I've got a good idea of what I want to do. So we'll see how we get on. First of all, this fabulous mirror. I love it. When we drive to work, my partner drives and I normally put my makeup on in the car. It's an extreme sport. And I'll be sitting while he's putting fuel in and he says he looks out and it's 6 in the morning and then all he can see is this. But I really love this mirror. It's really big as well. Nice and hefty. Cool as. Then you've got the eyeshadow palette, which is Camp Crystal Lake. Now it comes in this really cool packaging, so it's like a VHS box. I don't understand why all of them didn't come in this, because they would have all been available on VHS. So I definitely had Scream on VHS. So I'm not too sure why just this one. I think the Freddy ones don't come in a box either. They come in, well, they come in a box, but they come in just a normal box. They don't come in like this VHS packaging, which confused us slightly. So yeah, when you open it up, this is what it looks like. Again, you've got the lenticular cover on the palette. Get rid of that. So it's Camp Crystal Lake. So yeah, pretty cool. Quite like it. And this is the colour story, which I'm sure everyone has seen it by now. I really love this. I think I love this colour story more than the Ghostface palette. I'm just going to be able to definitely get more variation out of this palette. We've then got the highlighter, which again, lenticular cover. And this highlighter is bloody lovely. I've used this a few times already. It's got like a blue sheen to it. It's very magical. I like it a lot. And then they didn't actually do a blush for the Friday the 13th collection. So Jason's going to take a little bit of help from his friend Freddie, which is the, this is the Chest of Souls blush trio. I've already used this a heap as well, which I really enjoy. And then we got a lip kit, which I've literally just picked up. I wasn't even going to bother getting this lip kit, but there was an Easter sale on at Glamlite, where I buy my Glamlite product from. So you get a pencil. So this pencil is a twisty, as you can see. The one in the Ghostface is a sharpened one, but it's still like that plasticky. It's not wood, it's like the plasticky kind of component. And then I've got another pencil from Glamlite, which is the Hershey's one. I got the Hershey's lip kit. And that twist puts one of those long thin tops. So there's just no, I don't understand. There's no consistency with pencils. But anyway, here we are. So it's like this kind of browny red colour. I really quite like it. And then the lip colour itself is lovely. Look at that. It's got machetes all over it. Beautiful. Exactly what you want in your lipstick. So I'm looking forward to using that. Oh shit, I haven't primed my lids. Uno momento. Okay, so I'm just gonna whack some primer on my lids. So I'm wearing this khaki shirt intentionally. I'm gonna lean into the khaki greens. Khaki, if you're American. And I'm going to use one of the goldy, well, is it gold shimmers? Let's have a look. Yes, I'm going to use this here, darken it up with the, probably the brown, maybe the tiny bit of the black, and I think I'm going to use this colour here, Summer Camp, on the lid. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I really like the look of this one. It's got like a purpley shift to it, but I used purple in the other look, so I'm going to do this. So, I'm just going to stick with the brushes that I used yesterday, because they are the ones that I know work well for these kinds of looks. We'll go in with the EO3, the big fluffy brush. I'm going to make sure it's clean because these were the ones I used yesterday. So dust it off. We're going to pick up Camp Counselor, it's called, like a khaki colour. Am I out of shot? Let's see, do I want to be zoomed in? No, well, wrong way. No, that's too close. Is that a good sweet spot? I'm going to go in and out of shot. Maybe I'll just go back to what it was before. Right. So, this khaki colour. So I'm just going to brush this through the crease on the outer half of the eye. So I've admittedly seen less Friday the 13th movies than I have the Scream. However, there is about 1 million. Actually, let's Google that. Let's make this interesting. So, Friday the 13th. There's 12. 12! That is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. So we've got the original Friday the 13th. Now the reason I know about Friday the 13th is actually from the Scream franchise, because that is one of the questions she gets asked when she's on the phone. Who is the killer on Friday the 13th? She says Jason, and it's actually Mrs. Voorhees. It's his mother in the first one. She is killing the kids at Camp Crystal Lake to avenge the death of her son, who drowned in the lake because the camp counsellors were not looking after him because they were having sex. That's right, sex. It's always the bane of every teenager's existence. Shouldn't do it. Bad for you. Bad things will happen if you have sex when you're a teenager. Right, this is already going patchy. I think it's because I haven't put my primer on properly and I haven't let it dry. Oh well, we shall persevere. So I found out because of the Scream franchise. I can't remember the first time I watched it. It would have been one of these times when I was going to the video shop with my friends on a Friday night and getting me 3 videos for a tenner. I don't remember it being that scary. It is obviously the presence of something that you can't see in the dark, but it can still see you, and the feeling of not being safe anywhere. However, Jason jumping out of the lake at the end, yes, a spoiler, does kind of scare the shit out of you a little bit, and you get a glimpse of what he looks like because he was born different. I think he had some birth defects, so yes, that's kind of what happens in the first one. Now I think I've seen the one where Jason is pre-hockey mask and he actually runs around with a paper bag over his head for a period of time, or is it like a Hessian bag and it's got a hole in the eye. And yeah, that one was, I didn't like that, the Hessian bag thing. That scared, like anything with masks kind of scares the shit out of us. Ghostface, I've kind of become immune to it because I've seen it that many times and it doesn't really scare us. I think it did initially, but overall masks themselves actually really quite scare me. So anything where you can't see the person's face, I just don't like it. So if you've you know, when you go to like Disneyland and you've got all of their mascots, obviously they're friendly, so they wouldn't really scare us. But anything where there's a mascot that isn't like a well-known and loved character, I kind of keep my distance from them. I don't know why that is. I just remember being terrified when I was a kid at a local like theme world place and just being scared of a pirate that was there. A big fuzzy fluffy pirate, which is weird because I love pirates. So this eye is definitely looking better than this eye in terms of blending, but there's not really a lot I can do about that. I'm going to take a fluffy brush and I'm going to just buff the edges out a little bit. So I do remember going to see Freddy versus Jason at the cinema and I went with a bunch of my friends. Freddy Krueger's never really scared us, to be honest. I'm not really fussed about him. There's a girl I used to knock around with who was absolutely terrified of him though. But yeah, he's never really bothered me. I've never been fussed on him. And we went to see Freddy versus Jason at the cinema. And we went, and it was an IMAX. So we were in the front row. I don't know why we were in the front row, but I remember it was just so ginormous. When they're fighting in the boiler room scene, they were literally on opposite ends of the screen. And I remember saying to my friend, you watch that side and I'll watch this side, and we'll tell each other what happens. Because yeah, it was just a bit ridiculous, like how big the screen was. I'm going to jump into Death, and I'm not going to jump into, I'm just going to dip into Death Curse using the EO2, which is kind of the same shape as the other one, just smaller. And I'm just going to darken the outer corner a bit. So yeah, the Freddy versus Jason kind of like was around like, what year did that come out? Let's have a look. Freddy versus Jason. So that was 2003, and I went and seen that at the cinema. So I'd been 18 at the time. So that was obviously like a laugh with friends. There was a Friday the 13th that came out in 2009, which that's probably the one I've seen the most, and I might have gone to the cinema to see that. No, maybe I didn't. But I think I did. Did I? I don't know. Anyway, that one kind of scared the shit out of us as well, because he's just so big, and he's just going up against these football playing jocks, and he's just ginormous. He's absolutely ginormous. And again, he's like in the woods watching, and nobody's really sure where he is. You know, the po-po show up and he manages to kill them even though they've got guns, things like that. So he did scare us a little bit in that movie. And there's a scene where she's in the lake and he stood on the edge watching her, and yeah, that kind of got us a little bit. I really didn't like that. But yeah, I only watched that one again not that long ago. I was saying to my partner, I'm like, no, it's really good, we should watch it. We should watch this movie. It's not as bad as what you would think it is. And actually, it wasn't that bad. I'm going to take the E06. No, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm going to take the E07. And I'm going to take that Death Curse, which is the brown colour. And I'm going to put this along the lower lash line. Just in the outer half. Yesterday I forgot to put the colour in the waterline, which I'm very mad at myself at. I'm not going to forget to do that today. So I'll just tap that along the outer half of the eye. And then I'm going to take, what brush was it? This one, EO4. And I'm going to buff that out with the Camp Counselor, that first colour again. Now there is one of the Friday the 13th movies called Jason X, in which Jason ends up in space. Now this movie, I think I've only watched it once, and I might have watched it, I'm just taking that E07 brush again. I'm going to take a tiny bit of F13 and just run that along the top lash line. So that's like it's like a black, just to darken that corner up. Yeah, so he ends up in bloody space. I mean, what a ridiculous notion. But I think I've watched it once. I watched it when I came in from the pub when I was like, I don't know, when did it come out? 2002. So yeah, I was probably about 18, 19. I remember thinking, what the hell is this about? Ridiculous. Oh, my neighbour's coughing, sneezing. bless you, John, bless you, bless you. That's who we're going out with this afternoon. But yeah, that was a terrible, terrible movie in the franchise. And I think, like, the franchise itself could be really good. It just got silly somewhere along the way. Teresa is Dead. If you don't watch her, you should. She's very, very entertaining. She loves Jason. So she was talking about, which one is it? Jason Lives. It's the 6th one. And because she was talking and waxing lyrical about it, I was like, I think we should watch this. I want to see what it's about, because, you know, I kind of trust her judgment, even though I don't know her. It's just, I don't know, just she kind of likes the same things that I do. So I was like, I'm going to give this a go. And no, it was absolutely terrible. I had to turn it off. I was like, this is so dumb and so stupid. And that is pretty much all of me kind of knowledge around, or experiences with Friday the 13th. I don't mind the movie franchise, but I definitely prefer the Scream franchise. I even watched the TV show for Scream. I really enjoyed that as well. I thought it was really good. Very clever how they do it. Okay, so I think we're done with the mats. I'm just blending out some of these dodgy edges. I really need to stay sitting up. I've got my back today and I don't know why. I've just slept funny. This is what happens when you get to a certain age. Just sleeping in your bed, you get a bad back. Alright, Summer Camp, which is this sparkly shadow. I'm going to take that on the E01. Oh, I should put some glitter primer down. Hang on. Let us do that first. Before I make any mistakes. I'm just going to put a tiny dot on my hand. And I'm going to move it around the back of my hand. And then I'm going to dab it across the front of this look. This lid even, not look. What am I talking about, man? What am I talking about? Right, okay, so Summer Camp. Spray the brush too, right? Let's keep everything consistent. And I'm going to put that at the front here and just in this bit where I haven't put any shadows. It's pretty. Right, okay, so that's the shimmers on. Just going to take the fluffy brush and get out any product that's in there, and I'm just going to buff around. And I'm going to take some more of that Jason Lives, that first colour we used. And I'm just going to take it on this E02, which is the smaller of the fluffy brushes, and then just kind of do some blending. Blendy, blendy, blend. Alright, now I'm thinking that we should probably, because I haven't done anything on this bottom here, I'm thinking we should probably use another shimmer. Ugh. But what other shimmer do we want to use? Or we could use this matte called Unlucky Day with a little bit of shimmer tapped across the top. I think that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take this E07, buff it out, and I'm going to take Unlucky Day, which is this colour here. It's like a purpley brown kind of colour. I'm just going to take a bit of that at the front here, like that. Take the E04 and then buff them two together, like that. And then I'm going to use a little bit of Axe. So I'm going to buff out the E01 that I placed the shimmer with. And now, if you can see, it's got like a little edge, and I'm going to put it on its side, dip into that Axe, which is this colour here. And I'm going to spray it. And then I'm going to put that at the front down here. Nice! Do the same on the other side. And I'm I'm going to bring that up onto the inner corner as well. Dip back in. So that's it for the shadows. I'm going to put some lashes on, not ferocious ones, just little ones, and maybe some spiky ones. Put some mascara on, and then I'm going to put a liner in my waterline, and then we'll come back and do the cheeks and the lips and that later. Okay, I'm back. I didn't put lashes on because I am running out of time. I came down here with like 2.5 hours to play with, and now I've got half an hour. So we're just going to dive straight into blush. Alright, so we've got the Chest of Souls. I don't think they've got any... No, they don't. They don't have any shade names. I'm just going to stick with this darkest one. I'm going to take it on the Rare Beauty blush brush, which I bloody love. I've waxed lyrical about it before. Also, I used the Glamlite blush, yes. So it was just yesterday I did the Ghostface look. And I don't know if you can see that the pink is still there from my palm. It stained my hand. So the longevity is there. Right, I'm just going to tap this on. Again, very pigmented. So, oh Christ. Hang on. We'll go in with the sponge. Just to take that back a touch, because holy moly, it's pigmented. So maybe just be careful if you're going to use this. That's as much as I want to go, I think. I did get quite a bit of fallout from those shadows. But yeah. What are you going to do about it? Not really very much. I always put blush on my nose. We're not going to take any additional product, just tap what's already there. And I always put a bit of blush here and on the chin just to tie it all together. There is it. Down hole. Now I'm going to jump in with the highlighter, which, I mean, I'm going to a bowls club this afternoon. I think I'm going to look a bit outrageous, but it is what it is. I'm going to use the F07 and I'm just going to make sure we tap that off just lightly, just ever so lightly. Dance that across there like that. That is beautiful. I really enjoy this. Put a tiny bit on whatever's left on the brush. There. Now onto the lips. So, lip liner. Let's go in and do that first. Try not to block it. I'll do it down here. I'm trying to blend this out a little bit with my finger. It's very waxy. I feel like yesterday's liner was nowhere near as waxy as this. I like it though. Right, okay, so the component, it just is a normal one. Yesterday we had that little pa-chung! And this is different again. So where's the consistency? It's very peculiar. I like that. That is nice. I am just going to quickly draw some of that liner back in over the top because I went a bit too ham with the lipstick. I know, I like that a lot. I do. Okay, so let's take the hair out. Alright, so this is the finished look. I really like it. I like it a lot. It's very grungy, very me. Yep, I'm definitely a fan of this highlighter. This, I love that. That's just, yeah, highlighter's got to be something a little bit different for me to really kind of get excited about it. I love that, really do. This I'm already a fan of because I've been using it. Very pretty shades, you get a nice variation in there. This, I prefer this for the colour story. You're obviously going to get more variation when it comes to looks. And I think I prefer this lip kit anyway because the other one was a black lip liner. So I think it's safe to say that in the in the Ghostface versus Jason debate, Jason wins. When it comes to makeup, when it comes to movies, Ghostface has the edge. Absolutely. But this is fun. I enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments down below if you enjoyed it. Did you pick anything up from these horror collaborations? I actually said yesterday that it was only these two, but obviously I didn't. I picked up this, and I also picked up an eyeshadow palette from this line as well. There is talk of them doing a Michael Myers Halloween collab this year. I mean, I think I just have to get it so I can talk about all of the insane things that have happened or occurred around this movie that have freaked me out and continuously fed my fear of Michael Myers. There's plenty of stories, so I'm probably going to get that if it comes out because I'm a weird person like that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please stick around by subscribing because I'd love to see you again. You can give it a thumbs up, comment, all of that wonderful stuff, but otherwise I'll see you next time. Bye bye.